Hey, welcome into Cronkite Sports Live. The usual partner in crime, Zach Pokaleb, is out of town this weekend, but it gave us the unique opportunity to assemble the A-team. I'm Andrew Chapman. He's Alex Capriello. And Alex, 2 weeks in a row now, you okay with working overtime?
Hey, as long as ASU football keeps winning, I could be here every week.
They really like to keep fans on the edge of their seats, I tell you what. And it was another nail-biter on Saturday. But ASU escaped with the 23-20 win, improving to 5-1 on the year. A couple of big storylines in this one, good and bad. Positive note first, ASU now has an NCAA record-holding kicker. Zane Gonzalez nailing his 89th career field goal Saturday, most all-time by a kicker in an NCAA career. Now the ugly news, second-string quarterback Brady White out for this season with an ankle injury, with, of course, Manny Wilkins banged up as well. Only guy that can sort this situation out is head coach Todd Graham. He spoke on his quarterback situation earlier this week.
I anticipate him to play. I don't know how much. It's been a distraction, obviously. I mean, I'd much rather not have those distractions, but it's part of it, you know. I mean, and I think, too, our guys don't, you know, you can, there's no excuses. Figure out a way to get it done.
And to talk about the roller coaster of emotions that we were left with last week, it's our Cronkite Sports football analyst, Jacob Janauer, in studio. Jacob, what a game. Did you have a decent seat?
Yeah, press box. Great seat.
Sweet. So let's go ahead and look at the defense, because they're really what kept ASU in that game on Saturday. They allowed pretty much no rushing to UCLA the entire game, while the passing game allowed a few yards. It was the run defense in the end. There's a big gap, though, between the number of rushing yards they're allowing each game compared to passing yards. What is that, and what's working well with the run defense?
Well, you know, it was Nate Starks and Sosa Jamabo, the two running backs for the Bruins, that were held at just 40 yards on 17 carries. And the front seven, especially the defensive line, really stepped up, forced whoever UCLA quarterback was in, whether it was Mike Faithful or Josh Rosen, to throw the ball. And, you know, they had trouble with that, too, because the Sun Devils brought pass rush, 6 total sacks. Karan Crump had 2, which led the team. So a huge step forward for this Sun Devil front seven.
And you said a couple of times, Mike Faithful, Josh Rosen, they had to air out the ball a couple of times in no man's land that led to a couple of ASU picks. Let's key on the Gump Hayes pick, because that one really seemed to turn the tide in the game in some ways.
Absolutely, and Marcus Ball even said that that was a game-changing interception. It seems like Gump Hayes has come up with a few of those this season. And this interception against Faithful was huge because it led to Zane Gonzalez's game-winning field goal, or eventual game-winning field goal, because the Sun Devils only won by 3 points. So again, the secondary, not the best game on paper, but they made plays when it mattered.
And now with the banged-up quarterback situation, Brady White out for this season, Manny Wilkins a little banged up, it comes down to the shoulders of the defense to give their offense as many opportunities as they can, 3 and outs. But they've been good at that this year, getting opposing offenses off the field.
Yeah, they're 33 for 91 when it comes to forcing offenses on 3 and outs. So that's been huge for keeping their offense on the field as much as possible. As much as this defense has struggled sometimes against the pass, they have been able to keep some good offenses like Texas Tech, like Cal, off the field for a long time, and have really given opportunity to the offense. And with the quarterback situation up in the air, that's going to be a huge key for them going forward.
And really quick on that quarterback situation before we let you go, Jacob, does Todd Graham have a starter at Colorado tomorrow?
I don't know. It's kind of up to the public to decide that, because he said Manny Wilkins practiced. Of course, Thursday's practice was closed to the media, so we weren't able to see firsthand. But Wilkins did participate more, according to Graham. He said he's going to play, but his mobility will definitely be in question for a quarterback who thrives on his feet. He's not going to be able to run the ball as much as Demario Richard. Kalen Blage will have to carry the load. And maybe Dylan Sterling Cole will play at quarterback. He's a true freshman, or other true freshman. Jack Smith, who's listed as a wide receiver on the roster right now, he could even get in the game. So we'll kind of see what Todd Graham and offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey concoct for this game.
It's going to be a challenge we can't wait to see. Kickoff tomorrow in Colorado against the Buffaloes at 5 p.m. on Pac-12 Networks. Our Cronkite Sports football analyst, Jacob Janauer. He's from Chicago. Go Cubbies.
The ASU swim and dive season is just around the corner. The Sun Devils will begin by taking on Utah on October 21st, and head coach Bob Bowman will once again be at the helm. Cronkite sports swim and dive reporter Ryan Curry sat down with this legendary coach to talk about his decision to come to Tempe, his expectations for the upcoming season, and the help he will be getting from one very decorated Olympian. I have a feeling you've probably heard his name before.
Coach, thank you so much for joining me again, here with head coach Bob Bowman of the Arizona State swim team. Now, Coach, you're entering your second year as head coach of ASU, and this past summer you were obviously the head coach of the men's Olympic team in Rio. So how do you plan on taking that experience with the preparation, everything that went into it, to your second year here at Arizona State?
Well, there's several reasons that I think it'll really help us. Number one is I have a lot more time now to focus on the ASU team specifically that I was spending on some of those Olympians and the preparation for the Olympics. So we're happy that things went very well. I think it really gave everyone a great picture of what's possible, you know, at ASU. If you look at the numbers, our group here at ASU produced more medals than any other team in the United States for the swimming team, and that means we produce more medals for the United States Olympic team overall than any other training center in the United States. So I'm very proud about that.
So Arizona State, it's not the first college you've coached at.
No.
So between the time you left Michigan, during the time that you started coaching here at ASU, was there ever a part of you that wanted to return to a college position?
There was. That's why I'm here. You know, I really missed the college environment, and I missed being with young people this age. I think it's a great time to influence them and sort of help them grow up, and that's why I came to ASU.
So the college atmosphere of swimming is different than the professional atmosphere.
It
You have
is.
athletes that train for Grand Prix meets and championships and the Olympics.
Right.
And your college athletes, they train for dual meets, and there's like school pride and school spirit involved in that.
Sure.
So how was that hard for you to adjust when you first came here?
Not hard at all.
Not hard?
I like that. I like that part of it. And I think it's great. It's a natural thing for them to have something bigger than themselves to kind of be, you know, aware of and to work for. And it's just a natural thing. I think it's a great thing.
Do you think it's more fun as an environment?
Yeah, in many ways it is.
Looking back at that meet against Arizona back in February, the stands in Monopoma were packed. There were
Yeah.
people in the parking garage trying to look in. And that doesn't really happen at a dual swim meet. So what can you say about the progress you made to make events like that happen?
Well, it's kind of amazing. And it just shows the support that we have, you know, from the community at large, because it wasn't just people from campus, it was club teams and, you know, a lot of people in the community came to see what was going on. And it was a combination of having the post-grad swim and, you know, there were many, many things that went into that. But I think one of the things that it showed us is that we can compete on that level, and we just have to keep, you know, keep improving, keep trying to set our goals a little bit higher, and I think the program will just move forward off of that.
Do you envision an atmosphere like that as part of kind of a normal thing here at ASU for years to come?
Well, I hope so. I mean, that would be our goal. I mean, I don't know, that was pretty hard to top, but, you know, I do think we'll have that because we're going to have a group of postgraduates just like we did before, and a lot of those guys will be coming off the ASU team. That's my goal, is that we'll produce Olympians in our college program. So I feel like as we go forward, we'll still have that level of excitement.
Okay, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Many thanks once again to Coach Bowman for sitting down with us. You can catch the full interview on our website at cronkitesports.com. Now's the time for a little bit of social media. Of course, we have the one and only social media guru, Gavin Shaw. Gavin, what you got for us today, man?
Alex, I appreciate the glowing endorsement. A school that I can never give a glowing endorsement to, the University of Arizona. The first thing we're taught at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, journalistic neutrality. Could not resist an opportunity, though, to take a shot here. The Pac-12 networks organized a dance-off, and as you see, 942 crew member. And then the U of A dancer has the crying Jordan face. Do you guys think it's because their football team sucks, because their highest-rated basketball recruit decided he'd rather play in Australia? What's the source of this?
I don't think it has anything to do with their team not being good. I think it's just watching ASU somehow excel. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of sick of the crying Jordan face, but I guess I'll allow it for this one.
Yeah, that's overused at this point, I would have to agree. You know, not a lot going on for U of A right now, football-wise. You can look forward to basketball season. Like you said, though, they've had their L's there and that, too. ASU brought out the curtain of distraction in this video. It's great. You got to go and watch it. You know, U of A had some pom-poms, things like that. I don't know. 942 crew. All day.
All right, Andrew, you gave me the perfect transition. Basketball season is coming up, and that means Bobby Hurley's back on campus, and we have two record holders here. Hurley, the NCAA's all-time leader in assists, and Gonzalez, the NCAA's all-time leader in field goals. Looking at this picture, one thing stood out to me. Both of those student athletes look an awful lot like us. Skinny, relatively unathletic. I don't want to take too many shots at you guys here, but which one of those two do you think would easier pass for a student?
Oh man, I would like to think that guys like us could be the men on campus, like guys like them back in their heyday. I'd say Zane Gonzalez. I don't know. I used to be the former soccer player, so I got a little bit in the leg. Zane Gonzalez, him and I have a little bit in common. So I'd say he mixed in best.
Hey man, speak for yourself. I don't look like either of those guys.
All right, you're right, Alex. You're a pristine athlete. It's just me and Andrew here who are falling behind.
Right.
Now, guys, I got to be honest. I love those first two tweets. This is the one I've been waiting for this whole time. Taking on the Juju on that beat challenge. Our boys, Zach Pocklib, Troy Lynch.
No.
This is kind of a punishment to Zach for not showing up today. You don't have any control over the tweets, and we're going to find the most embarrassing one of you. So that being said, I think they're doing a pretty good job.
I think he likes it. He likes that attention. He's not here today, but whatever. He's going to find his way on the show, I guess.
Yeah.
Seriously, the guy leaves me, and he somehow finds his way on the show still. Just please refrain from doing that in the Colorado press box, Zach, wherever you are.
I think he's at his sister's wedding. But,
oh, is he? Oh, I thought he was covering
so
the
he
football team.
actually
Either way.
can do
so
the
maybe
dance.
Okay, then there's going to be some more dancing wherever Zach's going, so all the folks at that wedding.
One of my favorite moments last semester was seeing Gavin do the Running Man. Can we see a little Juju on that beat?
You know, Alex, I was actually threatened with termination if I ever danced on the show again, so I'm going to have to pass for this one time. Andrew, you actually bragged about your dancing abilities last time you were here. Are you going to show us something?
I did,
Okay.
All right, you know what? Hey,
we're
enthusiasm. That's all it takes.
You know, he kind of lacks the energy, but Gavin never does. Thanks a lot, Gavin. We're glad to have you here today.
All right, so ASU soccer, they're searching for a change of fortune in the Pac-12. A tough road lies ahead, though, with top 10 power USC traveling into Tempe. Our Cronkite Sports soccer insider, Drew Andre, is on the pitch at Sun Devil Soccer Stadium with the weekend preview.
The Sun Devils enter Saturday's game against USC following an extra-time loss to Washington State. Head coach Kevin Boyd says that just means the matchup against the number 6 team in the country is even more important.
They're a very good team. I think their two front runners are outstanding. Their attacking mid's very, very good. And they're just really athletic everywhere else.
And ASU has some help. Junior defender Madison Stark knows a little something about the opponent.
We can do this. I mean, I have a lot of old friends and old teammates on USC, so we're ready to do this. We just wanted to refocus on our work rate and our effort because that's what really drives our team.
But Coach Boyd had one thing to resolve.
The previous 7 games to Sunday, Arizona State went with true freshman Emma Mulsey in goal, and now they're going back to a familiar face in Megan Delaney.
They've been neck and neck the whole time. We thought that there was a couple errors made in the Washington game, and it led us to want to make a change. And Megan's been ready and been chomping at the bit, and it was her turn.
And the plan of attack for Saturday?
Trying to play like us and be the best us we could be. That's really what our focus is right now.
If Arizona State wants any chance to make the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to win 5 of their last 6 games, and that starts Saturday against USC. In Tempe, Drew Andre, Cronkite Sports.
Take a look at what else ASU soccer has coming up on the docket. Number 6, USC, this Saturday at 6 p.m. on Pac-12 online stream. Then off to Corvallis on Thursday for a match with Oregon State. Their road trip to Oregon comes to a close on Sunday against the Oregon Ducks.
It's been a tough stretch for the ASU volleyball team, who have lost their last 8 matches and sit at the bottom of the Pac-12. The good news? The Sun Devils had a full week to rest and prepare for their Northern California road trip, where they'll face Cal and Stanford. But will the 7 days of rest help, or is it just a minor fix to a deeper issue? To answer that, we bring in volleyball insider Andre Sims. Andre, always a pleasure to have you at the desk.
You know what? We took a crack at this last week. It didn't go so well, but here's to a better segment today.
I have high hopes. Now, like I said, this ASU volleyball team, they're really in a slump here. What's going on?
You know, it's one of those things where for this team, which has a lot of factors working against, they're undersized, they're inexperienced in Pac-12, you have to be able to control what you can. And I think that really has to start at the service line. And this is something that they've struggled with mightily. If you look at the numbers, it's pretty astounding. The ratio at which they have aces and errors from the service line is pretty drastic. You don't want to have these numbers. You look at weekend 2, only 3 aces, 14 errors. That's a ratio that you can't have. You want to see that even out a little bit. Obviously, you're not going to have the reverse of this. That's just unrealistic. But they have to be able to control those serves because they're giving away points. They're allowing long runs to happen, and they can't afford to have that happen in Pac-12 play.
That's right, Pac-12, they'll eat you alive like that. So Aside from service errors, there was another thing that you brought up to me, and that's hitting percentage. And in fact, this is an important stat to monitor. And lately, ASU's hitting percentage has been drastically low. Just how bad has it been?
Well, I equate hitting percentage to how people would look at batting averages in baseball, where if you're around 300, that's good. That's where you want to be. Anything above that is above average. But this ASU team has been hitting around the 100 range in Pac-12 play, and that's numbers you just can't have weekend by weekend. It's just been pretty poor. The 173 is actually a bit weighted because they hit over 200 against USC this past weekend, their highest of Pac-12 play, but then they turned around in a 3-set loss to UCLA and hit 073. So they're seeing both sides of the spectrum, and they have to be able to improve on these numbers. If you look at some of these past games, Oregon State, they're hitting 400, 500 in sets, whereas ASU is struggling to break even. And so you have to be able to have those numbers even out if ASU wants to succeed.
Now, sometimes when teams are on losing skids like this, all it takes is one player to really step up and rejuvenate the team. Who's that player got to be for the Sun Devils?
I think it has to be senior outside hitter Cassidy Pickrell. She just took over the lead on this team in kills, and she's a very high emotional player. Been here now 2 years, transferred from UC Irvine, and she's shown flashes. We've seen that she can be the dominant player, going out there getting 15, 20, 25 kills in a match, hitting 400, 500 for a match, but it hasn't been the consistency that you want to see. And you would like to have an outside hitter leading your team in kills, but for a while it was Lumokar in the middle. So I'm looking for Cassidy, now that she's overtaken that lead, to then take that next step and really be that vocal leader on and off the court.
Cassidy Pickrell, she's got a long road ahead of her, as well as the Sun Devil volleyball team. Those games this weekend. Follow along with Andre and the rest of our volleyball coverage team for the rest of the season. Thanks, Andre.
Thank you.
ASU Division I hockey came up empty in their season-opening road trip to Notre Dame. With a schedule that never lets up, they look to turn the page this weekend, hosting 18th-ranked Air Force in a pair of meetings. Our hockey reporter Megan Plain is at the Big House, Gila River Arena, getting us ready for home opening puck drop.
We feel so much better about where we are this year after the first weekend of NCAA play, being 0-2 than last year being 1-1 because of who we played and how we played against them at Notre Dame.
Despite those two losses, it was an encouraging weekend for ASU, considering they took on number 5 Notre Dame. They have another challenge ahead of them this weekend when they take on number 18 Air Force in their home opener.
Anybody that comes in here we think is a winnable game. We expect to win. We go into every game expecting to win. We went into Notre Dame expecting to win. And when there was, somewhat of a level playing field on Saturday, we could have won that game. We'll learn how to win those games. It's going to take some time, and there'll be frustrating losses where we're close, and then we'll start to figure it out, and that's what young teams do, and we're going through that process.
A Sun Devil to look out for this weekend is Tyler Bush. He put up 2 goals in the Notre Dame matchup, and Coach Powers thinks he has what it takes to become a future captain.
I think he's our best 200-foot player. I thought that from day one. That's what I thought when I recruited him. That's why I wanted him so badly. He was a huge commit for us. He's a leader. He's probably a future captain of this program. He's everything you want in a player, everything you want. We're leaning on him as a top 6 guy and have been since day one, and nothing changes. That was, I think, part of his allure into coming here was his ability to get that type of playing time this early. And certainly you have to come in and know that's the opportunity, but you have to earn it in practice, and then when you get it in a game, in order to keep it, you have to perform, and he just performed, so he's going to keep it for now.
Puck drop is at 7:05 this Friday at Gila River Arena. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Megan Plain.
ASU and Air Force take over the home of the Coyotes this weekend. Game 1 underway in just a few hours from now at 7:05 p.m. on the ASU live stream. Then Sunday, a midday 2:30 p.m. showdown, the Devils and the Falcons on Pac-12 Network. Okay, it's time for The Way It Is. Alex, I'm 0-2 against Zach, so I'm hoping you being on the show will offer some easier competition.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Put a tally in the win column, we'll have to see. But it's time for The Way It Is. 6 rapid-fire ASU athletics-related questions, 3 apiece. The producers in the studio decide who gets to tell you the way it is in the end. So, Alex, first time hanging with me, I'm going to send you a question right now. Better moment, Kalen Balaj, 8 touchdowns, or Zane Gonzalez, the NCAA field goal record?
Obviously, both great moments in ASU football history. Balage's performance, the 8 touchdowns in a game, you don't see that on a week-to-week basis. That's got to be more memorable. However, let's not underestimate the magnitude of Zane Gonzalez's feat. That's going to be a record that holds for a long time. I'm going to say that's the better moment. Now to ASU hockey. This is a team that's hungry for its first win. They take on Air Force this weekend in a pair of games. Do they have the chance to sweep?
Sweep? I don't know. There's a lot of excitement going into this Division I season, obviously, but I feel like until they get that first win, it's not going to feel official for them. I think they split this series with Air Force. They're playing in front of a big, excited home crowd in a big arena, home of the Coyotes again. Air Force is tough. They're higher ranked than Notre Dame in the national standings at 16, but I say they win tonight. They have the hype going into their first home game, so I say they win tonight. All right, Alex, what are you most excited to see coming into basketball season? It's just around the corner.
I'm excited to see this ASU backcourt. Trey Holder's coming back. He's got a little bit more experience under his belt. On top of that, they're bringing in Buffalo transfer Shannon Evans. Bobby Hurley said he's as good as any other player in the Pac-12, and although he's a bit of a mystery still to most of us, I expect big things, and I'm excited to see it.
All right.
Now I got a question for you. ASU soccer, they're 1-3-1 in Pac-12 play. They take on number 7 USC this weekend. How important is this game in terms of redeeming this disappointing season?
This is a big one for them. First, it's at home, so the place is going to be loud in front of number 6 USC. And this just foreshadows what's to come on the ASU schedule. Number 1 Stanford, number 10 Cal still to play, split between those two, one at home, one on the road. But they need to win this one. This is the midway point in their schedule for Pac-12. A win over a top 10 team would really change the momentum of their season in a positive direction instead of downward going forward. So, all right, Alex, last one to you, and it's a fun one. Todd Graham and Bobby Hurley, they invite you to a fancy steak dinner on the exact same night. Whose invitation do you accept?
I love this question, mainly because I was born in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm going to go with Bobby Hurley. You know, I'd love to just sit down with him, pick his brain, find out what it was like to play with college legend Christian Laettner, going up against LSU's baby Shaq when he was just a little guy. I say that, he's huge, but anyway. And Michigan's Fab Five, everyone knows them. How dirty were they? Were they fun to play against? What was it like? So I'm going with Bobby Hurley on that one. Since you threw me a fun one, I'm going to throw it right back to you. Say you're starting a fantasy football team today from scratch using only ASU football players. Who's going to be that first pick in that first round?
Oh, my ESPN team, 5-0 right now. Very proud of that. Proudest
Shameless
accomplishment. Proudest accomplishment to date. But I'm going to add an element to this league. I'm going to make it a keepers league, so you keep the players you draft for years to come. And I'm going to go with the young freshman wide receiver, N'Keal Harry. He is a beast, big body, really only the healthy guy on this team. There's a committee backfield, so that doesn't bode too well to fantasy owners, plus a banged-up quarterback situation. N'Keal Harry would take me to the ASU Fantasy Football Championship.
Not a bad pick, not a bad pick. We're going to see more from N'Keal Harry later. That's called a tease. Let's see who wins this episode of The Way It Is. Let's go, let's go.
Hey,
of
there
course,
we go.
The hometown hero.
First one of the semester. That was a great weekend, hitting golf balls on the river. Gavin Shaw, he foreshadowed this earlier, but those who have been on Twitter in the recent days have likely seen the ongoing Pac-12 Student Section Challenge video between ASU and the school down south. A 1-minute showdown between the two sides showcasing school spirit. Upon my first look, I asked myself the question, and I propose it to you. Was this really even a challenge? The ASU side features the famed curtain of distraction and a dude who breaks it down better than Usher. He's quickly joined by a prancing unicorn holding a cutout Michael Phelps head and Kermit the Frog chugging hot coffee. It's a sight to see. U of A brought out their mascot, which looks a little more like a house cat than a wild cat if you ask me, and a pair of signs that said, if you're reading this, bear down, and straight out of the Zona Zoo. Drake and Dr. Dre would be utterly disappointed. For those at home, you can do the right thing. Tweet out the hashtag ASUSSC and continue to vote the 942 crew over the rest of the student sections in the Pac-12. Because let's be honest, that's just the way it is.
Not bad, not bad. Let's take it to the top plays. Number 3, we're going to see Brady White toss it here to N'Keal Harry. You know I promised it, now I deliver. He caps off a 7-play, 75-yard drive. That's N'Keal Harry's 3rd touchdown of the season.
That's threading the needle. Okay, defensive end. It's Josh Rosen, the starting quarterback for UCLA. He got injured in this one. That's a batted ball, a little bit of a team effort, and it's Marcus Ball coming down with the interception. One of 2 picks in the game for Arizona State. Gump Hayes with the other one. That secondary just continues to come in clutch at the right times.
You bet it does. And our number 1 play, was there really ever any doubt? Zane Gonzalez, the 46-yard boot, thereby securing the top spot as the NCAA's all-time field goal leader. And it was a special moment. Todd Graham going out to the field to present Gonzalez the game ball. Big, big moment in ASU football history.
So cool, so cool. That's all we have for you, though, but be sure to stay with us here at Cronkite Sports all weekend long for everything Sun Devil athletics.
Don't forget, puck drop for the Sun Devil hockey squad at 7:05 tonight. We'll bring you the game live from Glendale in partnership with the Pac-12 networks on pac-12.com/live.
And tomorrow night, it's back to Tempe. Join me on the call as well as Tommy Goodman as the soccer team hits the pitch for a 6 p.m. matchup against number 6 USC. That does it for us, for our entire Cronkite Sports family. We thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.